Good morning. I forgot to pour my coffee. Can you believe that? I forgot to pour my coffee. So there you go. Ratman Roden. End of the month. Time to count the nickels. That is absolutely true. So good morning. A lot to talk about today. I've started a journal, right? I did a video on the small channel about writing things down. And what I do is I write what I want to accomplish and what I do accomplish. And that's been working so far. I've had a pretty successful week. I've helped out quite a few drivers this week, and there you go. So let me answer this question. Then we'll get really into the comments here. What's the intro? The intro song is off of an Apnea album. The song is called "Weekend Embrace," and it's like the middle part. So if you want to hear the original song, go to Apnea 1, because there's several Apneas on Bandcamp, but Apnea 1 Bandcamp, and also it's also on Spotify too. So check it out. If you want to purchase the songs, they're there as well. So in Apnea or in Bandcamp thing. So that's what that song is. But that's from Weekend Embrace. It was a song that I wrote when I was going through some major stuff. So anyways, speaking of which, I'm going to a metal show again tonight. So there's a band called Pallbearer that's playing, and we're gonna go check that out. We bought the tickets. The youngest is going with us. So, but anyways, we do have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of things going on in our community that I want to touch on, and let's see. Let me fix this. There we go. Yeah, Bandcamp. I'll put up the link here. I'll put the link in. I'll even put the link to the exact album. Name of the album is Tempest of Eternity. Copy. Paste. There you go. Yep, we are also on Spotify, but you got to look for the 2 capital A's. And Mrs. A, when you come back through, I would like my coffee refreshed, please. I would greatly appreciate it. I can't have morning coffee without it, right? Here, I'll share the screen. This is we're going to do some band promotion first. These live feeds are great because you never know what direction we're going to go in, right? So there you go. That's where the intro song comes from. It's actually, I believe it's a version that I had that didn't have any vocals on it, because when you record an album, you do everything without vocals first, and then the vocals come in later, and that's kind of what that is. So that's the name of the album. And if you want to hear Mrs. A play bass and yell a lot, she's on this album right here, The Great Ruiner. She does some vocals on there, and she plays bass on that one. So there you go. Yep, there. She put the link up to it. Whoops. She put the link. Thank you, Mrs. A. She put the link up in the Spotify link up there. So thank you, Mrs. A. There you go. All right. So, anyways, that's that. Enough band promotion. All right. So, I was so full of ideas that I wrote them down because I'm doing that now. First thing we want to talk about is what the industry norms are in the spot market are not happening. I've had a brutal week as far as rates go. And like, I've had a couple of drivers call me and say, "Dude, what's going on?" And then I call DIY and say, "Hey, man, what are your thoughts on this?" And yeah, it's. I mean, they're literally pushing $1 a mile in various parts of the country. And that's something that you have to be aware of. Let's mute this here. All right, let's do all messages. All right, so I think I have my act together. So, all right, maybe I don't. Maybe you just think I do, but I don't. But do I? Ha! All right, so let's go over some. Not too many people in here this morning, so that's fine. Live streams have been kind of tapering off a little bit, which is par for the course. I think everybody's out either working or enjoying the summer. It is a holiday weekend, believe it or not. The holiday is on Tuesday, which is going to screw up Saturday and Monday. So if you haven't had a plan on how you're going to approach the weekend, then it's going to get kind of difficult. It's going to get kind of tricky. Trying to cover your rate per day during the holiday has been a huge challenge unless you're running. But even then, you're talking like doing 1,000 miles and picking up today that won't deliver till Wednesday. And in the years that the 4th of July is on a weekday, like Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, it messes everything up. If it's on a Friday or Monday, it's not so bad, and especially not bad if it's on a weekend. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. There's a lot going on, and with the loads that I was trying to book, and I'm trying to be within these people's constraints, it made it a bigger challenge trying to make sure that we're not just out here all willy-nilly for $300 a day, which is what it was looking like coming out of one of the areas that I'm looking in. And how that happens is I have a driver that calls and says, "Hey, I need some help," because we're non-contract. Rig Runner is not contract, right? So we don't make you have to do a reload under us. We don't do that. It's like, if you need me to help because you're driving, I can do that. And one of our drivers that does that quite a bit, he calls me up and he goes, "Hey man, keep an eye out for me because I'm not seeing anything." And I did. I spent like about 3 hours just trying to look and see what would be the best and what would work. And I would call him and say, "Okay, what do you think we want to do here? What do you think about this?" Well, I don't want to do that. And when I do that for 3 or 4 drivers, I and that are in different parts of the country, I get a different feel for things. I get a pretty good pulse on what's going on. And there's several areas where they're pushing $1 a mile on a holiday weekend. Like, it used to bring you a lot of leverage. I've made some of my best money working over 4th of July. Not this year. And that's the thing. That's kind of that's kind of the historical aspect. And so that was the first thing I wanted to mention is, if you've been in this game a while, like me and a few other people in this chat, and then things go beyond the norm, how do you handle that emotionally? I was watching Success in Trucking. I was watching, she had a community post, and you could tell she's struggling, man. She's burned out. She's fighting. She pivoted all of her trucks to flatbed, and you could tell it's weighing on her. It's weighing on all of us what the market is doing right now. Now, is there money still to be made? Yes, but here's what you're doing. If you did the same, like, I'm a guy that does the same thing all the time. And what will happen is if I work beyond these set norms, and I was making X amount for 6 months doing these set norms, and then all of a sudden it gets reduced down by 40%, which a lot of rates are. Now I'm making 40% less to do the same work that I've been doing. Now, when you do that for a load, like if you go down to Florida for $3 and come back up for, $1.20, you can kind of legitimize. You can say, well, okay, that's part of the game, right? But when you are doing that both directions, it's difficult. It's difficult to take that in. And then, with the cost of everything going up, you're making 40% less before your costs. And then after your costs, you're literally running for $100 a day. Unless I decide to branch out, unless I decide let's do multiple stops, unless I decide, hey, let's go to these other areas that I normally don't go to. I know people that went to flatbed that are now making what they used to make in van, but now they got a chain, now they got a tarp, now they got a, now their whole game is different. And while pivoting can be a good move, it also presents a lot of challenges. So if you don't mentally have it all together, you definitely have some challenges ahead. So, but I just want to put that out there that what we normally experience on the 4th of July, I'm not seeing. So I'm hoping that there's a couple of last minute, day of markets that I can capitalize on, that you guys can capitalize on. And that seems to be like in the Uber world, in the Uber freight space, that's what they seem to be doing. If you want to book the next day or the day after, their rates are trash. But if you want to book the day of, then there's some pretty decent coin there. In the van world, I don't know what Reefer's doing on Uber. But it's gotten to the point that I don't even look at Uber unless I've exhausted everything else. And that affects their capacity, which is affecting their business. Now, speaking of which, let me find this article. This is another element that you have to be aware of. All right. This is from FreightWaves. And I do promise to get into the comments. Now, I was originally told Transplace. I was like, really? I thought Uber bought them out. But it's actually Trans Plus. And even the article even says not to be confused with Transplace. But here's the number that should be interesting. More than 60 small trucking companies are collectively owed millions of dollars after a Mississippi logistics firm filed for bankruptcy liquidation recently. Think about that for a minute. I'm back. Sorry, I had to have a conversation with the boss. So, Transplus Freight Systems Inc., headquartered in Hernando, Mississippi, filed its petition in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Northern District of Mississippi in mid-June. A subsidiary. Okay, that's the list. The assets up to 50,000 and its liabilities between 1 million and 10 million. The shuttered brokerage states that it has up to 99 creditors and maintains that no funds will be available for unsecured creditors once it pays administrative fees. They don't talk about why they went out. And they're not responding to FreightWaves for comment. But think about that. There's 60 small trucking companies that are owed millions of dollars that aren't going to get their money. 60. I mean, that's the thing that small carriers have to deal with. And how many of those carriers were counting on this one brokerage for all their freight? And so it's really important to have a system in place to check credit when you sign on with a new broker. And the other trend that I'm seeing, and I was talking to a friend of mine about this yesterday, is that, and I've experienced myself. You sit there and you're like, I wheeled and dealed on a load. Like, hey man, we negotiated. I got a good rate, and it was for one of my outside carriers, and they're like, what's the MC number? So I said the MC number, and they're like, oh yeah, it looks like you're not set up with us. I'm like, yeah, we can set up. That's no problem. And he was like, well, we don't allow new carriers to do our cross country freight. Have a good day. Click. And then a friend of mine was telling me yesterday that he was emailing back and forth. The guy obviously didn't want any phone calls. He didn't even have his phone number in the signature. Same thing. Like, we need to set up, and he's like, nope, and stopped emailing him back. That's happened to me a few times. And I don't know if it's an agent that doesn't want to deal with the carrier packet. I don't know if it's brokers trying to save on the RMIS. I don't know. I mean, I would like CDN's perspective on that, but I would, but it's interesting when a broker doesn't even want to deal with the carrier packet. I had one at like 4:30 p.m. one time was like, no, we're not setting up a new carrier packet. Have a good day. And it was for like trucking. It wasn't even an outside carrier. We have 7 years of history. And like, if you don't want to set up a carrier packet, tell me why. Don't just like, no, sucks to be you, later. And so gets my mind wondering, wonder what it was. Is there something on our carrier 411? Is it something that I said? Is it something that is a new policy with them? Is there something that's spooking them? Is it just laziness? Is it scamming? They get the information they need, and all of a sudden they're out. Right? So that's what we're dealing with here. And so there's many challenges right now, and I hope that you're not one of these 60 small trucking companies that are owed money from Trans Plus, not Place, Trans Plus. So let's go over the comments here. Pigtail, good morning. My name is Nobody. Good morning. Just let me know when you're ready to come back out there. David Edwards, good morning. Justin Axford, good morning. Elroy Logistics, hope you're doing all right. Cowardly Lion, Crazy Face, Crafton. Pigtail, out walking, trying to get 10,000 steps before 8 a.m. Well, watch out for the wind out there. Welcome to Monday, part 5, y'all. Part 5. And in the month, trying to count the nickels. So, yeah, that's something else that we'll get into. Pigtail says, coffee, good hope everyone is well. We already talked about the intro song, Wet Willie. Thanks for your interest. Good morning, Metalhead Viking K-Man Trucker, D.O. Good morning to you. John says, good morning. Hope everyone is doing well. CB, it's a cool riff. Interesting melody. Let's see. Wife promoting apnea there. SST, Morning Guitar Live. Just when you said Bandcamp, I thought of American Pie. Scott, what's up? Rohia, do I have that name right? Do you remember? Thank you. Rolla. Sorry, it looked like an I, but I should look at the bigger version. CDN says, good morning, Steve, from Campsite Shower House, heading to co-work office to work for a day. Vancouver, BC to Arizona and Colorado, rate super high for flatbed. There you go. Yeah, there's still some really good pockets, but finding them, that's the trick. Like California, the reefer rates coming out of California are pretty good. I'm seeing stuff for $8,000. Why? Because it's produce season. DIY Semi, what's up? Yay, trucking. Matt K. MT, good morning. Oh, Matt, you're empty earlier than I thought. So that's pretty good. So I'm guessing that you're looking then, and you're going to see the same things. If you want to collaborate after this live feed, we can. Justin Axford, good morning, DIY. I'm still in an airport. Trucking is very much like playing blackjack. Yes, it is. I arrived home to a pretty new Cascadia sit in my yard. Someone loves me. Ah, it's like Christmas. Idling for 24 hours times 3.29 a gallon equals 78.72. Might as well grab a hotel room if you have to sit in a really warm environment, especially if you're doing a 34. So it's red, so nice. Shannon, good morning from Illinois. Shannon, be careful. There's a lot of wind alerts. So we helped Shannon out on a really good paying load. So she's going to be set for a minute. I had a driver. It's funny. I had a driver picking up in Terre Haute, Indiana yesterday. And I'm like, all right, everything looks good. I'm looking at his camera. It's all sunshiny and looks good. I'm like, cool. If he picks up, we're good to go. All of a sudden, I get this call. I'm like, he goes, Steve, I've already notified the broker, but I'm going to be late. I'm literally a mile, and they have 80-mile-per-hour wind alerts, warnings. I'm in a safe place. We're good to go. And next thing you know, he's calling me from a landline because the power went out, cell phone coverage went out in the whole area. And I looked at the radar when he called me, and I was like, holy crap. Anyways, it was like this big glob of red and purple. I'm like, holy crap, dude! I think you might be getting some stuff. So, and then he shut down early. And when I and Paul, if you're watching, there was wind alerts all along I-70 of wind gust recordings of like 80 to 100 miles an hour. So it was good that he shut down. And so Shannon, the remnants of that are going through. So just be careful going through Illinois there. Justin, sorry it's not orange. Let's see. Start over says Truckers Education Network, i.e. Jeffrey Like. Getting loaded in Edgerton, Kansas, going to Phoenix. I need one of those loads next. Consistently profitable freight isn't making it to low boards. Yes, you are absolutely right, CB. That is the name of the game right now. It's still coming from brokers, but it's not the ones that refuse to do carrier packets and want one and done carriers on the low board. Yeah, Shannon's got her granddaughter rolling with her. Jose, good morning. That's tough. Yeah, and any longer hauls have any sort of money on them are gone in 2 seconds or less. Yes, I had the 123 low board up, and it was like disappear. Loads are flying off the shelf, and people are panicking because if you pick up Friday today, I guess it's either going to deliver Monday or it's going to deliver Wednesday. And so if you're picking up 1,000-mile loads a day, you're going to be, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You're going to be 6 days. Or no, that's not right. If you drive all day Friday, let's say you pick up Friday morning, you got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, 6 days. On the 6th day, you'll make your, if they're paying $1.80 a mile and it's 1,000 miles, you're making $1,800 before your carrier's cut, before fuel. Now, if you're going home under that load, then that's great, right? But if you're out to make money, that is not the best way to capitalize on your daily rate. So it's tough. So people are panicking. They want something that delivers Saturday or Sunday or Monday. If you don't get that, you're delivering Wednesday or Thursday. So I wonder how many went under simply because they didn't track their expenses. A lot. Cool trucking. What's up? That's a reason for non-recourse factoring. There you go. Pigtail. Yep. 10. we're talking about the Trans Plus. Yeah, so if you and I'm sure Jeff will do a video off of this. And that's one of the advantages of factoring with a non-recourse. So, Thomas Wilson, good morning, Steve. Good morning, Jeff. You have load. How much you pay? Steve, what broker might say he won't deal with a carrier pack at 4:30? I won't name him here, but there's been a couple. And here's let's go back to CDN's comment here, because CDN is a very professional broker. I know that the level that his playing field is on a different level than some moron from one of these bigger brokerages that are just there to answer the phone. So and here's what I'm talking about. So I called on a load coming out of California. And I'm like, hey, I'm calling on your load, picking up Monday. It's doing this, this, and this. He's like, okay, yeah, hold on. And I listed the reference number. I was like, yeah, I'm calling on load going from here to here. I have a reference number. If that'll make your life easy. And he's like, yeah, go ahead. And I listed the numbers, like, oh yeah, that's for today. I'm like, no, it ain't. I'm calling on one for Monday. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right, yeah. Is it available? Yep. Would you care to give me the details? I said it nicely. I'm like, yeah. What are the details on that? Let's see. It's van or reefer. I said, well, it's on the reefer. Oh man, it's not supposed to be on the reefer thing. Oh man, I got to pull all these off. It's just complete unprofessionalness. Complete unprofessional. This guy had no idea what he's doing. And when you get 4 or 5 phone calls like that in a row, it is tough, especially if you're struggling, especially if you're frustrated, you're at a truck stop, rates aren't where you need them to be. Meanwhile, you got that click and go just raising their hand. Hey, you don't have to deal with that. So it's there are many challenges, which is why you got to keep your head straight. You got to keep your head in the game. You got to be able to separate your emotions, right? So DIY says sounds fun, Jeff. Mr. Charles, good morning. Snorelord in chat. Charles is in here. Gave me a super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Charles. Haven't seen you in a minute. Glad to see you in here. Thank you very much. $4.99. All right, 2 reasons. Broker head office closed as they are a different time zone. Broker suspicious of last minute bookings with a new broker. I understand that. And I wish they would communicate if that's the case. If they would say, hey, my head office is closed, we can't process any carrier packets right now. Thank you for your interest. Cool. Don't just sit there like, nope, can't do it. Click. And if he's suspicious of last minute bookings with a new broker, or if they're suspicious of some kind of co-brokering agreement, then tell me. I've had one broker said, nope, can't do it. So, that's so I get that. And me being friends with someone like you, CDN, I understand those kind of things. What I don't like is when they don't communicate and say why. It's kind of like if I call on a load and we negotiate and then I turn it down. Some of the smarter brokers like, well, okay, does this not work for you? No, the delivery time doesn't work for us. Or yeah, you're trying to do 800 miles in one shift, can't do it. And there's been a couple of times where like, yeah, I'll have to turn this down. And some of them will, why? Well, here's the reasons. But if I just go, yeah, can't do that, click, or I won't do that, click, and I don't let them know, that's not helping them either. Maybe they need to learn. Maybe they need to learn why, a buck mile into Colorado is not a good idea. Now, I'm not rude about it. Like, yeah, that rate's a little bit low for Colorado because of the market coming out of there, that kind of thing. And this new book that DIY and I are going to do a report on soon, explains, you want to empathize, but in order to empathize, you got to learn. So if a broker flat out says, hey, we're paying a buck a mile on this, ask them why. Like, well, is this from the shipper? Is this the customer? Are you guys actually moving this? And what kind of carriers are moving this for this? I'm just curious because I would love to do this load, but I want to understand why it's way below my costs. I want to understand why, how is this sustainable? Without being rude. And if they're willing to talk, they'll let you know. And you're going to find that a majority of them will go, well, that's because what my boss told me to do. Next thing you know, those brokers are email only because they don't want to have these conversations. They don't want to be yelled at from the drivers. And the great thing about email is you can look a lot more professional than you actually are. You can sound, quote unquote, more professional than you actually are. DIY is going to go shave his dog. Good luck. Red Top Rich, good morning. My grandfather immigrated in 1907 from Czechoslovakia. Well, cool, man. 1907. CDN, we have flatbed going to Colorado next week. Yeah, Cali is good, but you'll get 20. Yeah, that's the thing. The rates going into California are horrible. And so, but if you live in California, man, Godspeed to you because you're getting it out, but you're not getting it in. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that very much. Morning, y'all, from Cranberry, Pennsylvania. Alfalfa, what's up? Fate Trucking, good morning. I was caught in the Indy airport when the 70, 80 mile per hour winds hit yesterday. Yeah, we were in Terre Haute. I had a driver in Terre Haute dealing with that. And that was some scary stuff. And they were showing trucks blown over in Illinois. Illinois got hit with 100-mile winds up and down around Springfield. And just basically, they showed the line. It was literally just north of I-70 all the way across. So, okay, everybody's saying hey to Fate. Thomas says we have plenty of loads. Everybody loves that Carbolicious. As soon as I'm empty in Jacksonville, Florida, I'm shooting down the load in Sarasota, delivers to Fairborn, Georgia tomorrow. I guess I got lucky. You might even get luckier and get out of Georgia if you're looking to work over the weekend. CLOs have to make sure they're open Monday because brokers lie and are clueless and careless of your time. Yes, you definitely have to verify. So what I'm trying to do is avoid a Monday delivery. That's what I'm trying to do. Or if I do, the load's got to pay. But I mean, can you imagine you do a 300-mile run for $1,000 that you pick up today and you try to deliver Monday, and like, no, you got to come back on Wednesday. We're taking Monday and Tuesday off. That's actually happened to some people I know in the past. I was warned very early when I was at Landstar about how holidays work, and I had one somewhat bad experience. But I usually avoided those mines. Landmines. Josh the Vegan, howdy y'all. I decided to hang out the house for the 4th, put the truck in the shop for a list of small things to get taken care of. Good deal. Pam, what's up? Heading home with a load. Bad news, the pickup is in Chicago. Oh, no. I've been enjoying retirement. I do notice a lot of trucks for sale in people's yards. Yep. Mine might be following. Property management of secure truck parking is where the money's going to be at. Yes, I believe SST. I believe you're right. In my little town, there's only one lot offering long-term parking in the industrial park area, monthly per truck on trailer, $100. If you can get a small piece of land and have enough money for gravel and a gate, and either put someone live at the gate or have an automatic gate system, you can make some money. That's something I wish I would have done, 20 years ago. Because all at once these lots opened up in Springfield, and these guys are making a killing because they fill it like that. It's not paved or lit. Yeah. After 2 months out, I ended up in Fort Worth, Texas, in a hotel watching a certain mega carrier's IC board. I've seen very little freight at a rate I would want to run it heading into the Midwest. Texas has been very interesting. So it's interesting that you're seeing the same thing on the contract side. So but contract rates are coming down. They are coming down. I pay $275 a month for bobtail and my motor coach parking. Wow. That's crazy. That's where the money's at. So, what was the other thing I was going to talk about? I think that's it. So we can look at low boards if you want. Let's see what the rates are doing. All right, that's the wife. She's leaving. Venmo ho. You call me a hoe? Nice, Thomas. Thank you very much. That'll buy some fireworks this weekend. Thank you. I actually grab the 22 and take care of things out at the property. But I take care of things like just Target. So thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Haven't seen you at Orley Road, Thomas. Been there last 2 weeks. Gatorade's been paying okay, but out of Florida when combined with what I got in. Let's see. Retirement's been fun. The build of the trailer's coming along. We'll be staying in it in no time. I wish that you were videoing that. I'd be very curious to see what that looks like and all that. Cheapest monthly park around Cincinnati we have found is $300 a month for one truck. Ouch. And that's something a lot of new owner operators don't consider. Where do you park your truck when you're home? That's a cost that you gotta evaluate. What do you do for that? Hell, even as a company driver, where are you going to park your truck? So like if you work for Transland out of Springfield, but you live in I don't know Atlanta, you need to take a week off. How's that? What does that look like? Where's your truck? Where's your terminal at? So if you're a Landstar guy and you want to park at the Fort Worth terminal, well, good luck getting in there. It's not big enough. So that's a cost that you have to evaluate, especially if you live around a major city. With both feet, good morning. But thank you again, Thomas. I appreciate that. Don, what's up? Got to help Don out this week. That was good. What's the projections on seeing better days? Spring. There's still too many carriers out here. And you have 60 carriers that are owed money, millions from TransPlus. So I imagine a lot of them are going to be taken out because of that. I have a pickup by Great Falls, Montana on July 5th. Wow. Hope it don't cancel because, man, that's going to, you're out in the middle of nowhere. Morning Snorelord, Phoenix to the Midwest, flatbed, please. We can do that. Yeah, let's get to the low board stuff. You guys don't want to hear me talk about stupid things. Let's see. Let's do search. Where's my search? Oh, I'm right on it. All right, so let's share the screen. There we go. This is the 123 low board. 48065. Here, let me put the banner up. Be a true promoter. All right, so whoops. Phoenix to the Midwest. So we'll do Phoenix. Apparently, I don't know how to spell, even though I used to live in Phoenix. Phoenix, Arizona. Let's do a 400-mile radius of Chicago. I'll put you in the Midwest. We'll do a 500 radius of Chicago. That should cover all the Midwest. For today, we'll do it for today, and we'll do it for Saturday and Sunday and Monday. Apply, and then we'll do it for van or flatbed. Apply. Search. One load. You got Phoenix to Sheboygan, paying $1.45 a mile posted rate. They're way below that rate check. Way below. And that's what I was seeing on both 123 and DAT. This is not just a 123 thing. Skid steer attachments deliver 24/7, so that's good. You're not going to dilly-dally on this load. But that's $2,800 for 32 hours of your driving time. That's almost half your week. So there's some loads coming there's one going to California, out of California, one out of Vegas, but you're looking at a 200-mile deadhead, 300-mile deadhead. So let's change this, right? So we go back to new search. Let's change the destination to anywhere. See how many loads pop up. Search. There's quite a few. Not too many more. Like it stops right there, and then we get the similar loads. We got a little longer deadhead or a different day. Now, something to note, right? I want you guys to check this out. This is how you know it's a last minute market. Here you go, right? All of these load postings are for today. All of them, every single one. Even though I've put the 30th, the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd. So Monday's loads aren't even on here. So think about that. Right? So let's do the highest rate here. Highest rate is $2,800.45. So that one load to Sheboygan is your highest paying load on the gross rate. Posted. The highest rate per mile is going to Gallup, New Mexico. You know how much freight is in Gallup, New Mexico? 0. Here's the logo in the Laramie. No posted rate. Let's see what the average is on that. Picks up at noon today, delivers noon on Monday. 1,000 miles, so that might be a decent run, but what are you going to get for it? You can't even can you get them up to $3,000? Which $3,000 for, a weekend, that's not bad for some people. Just depends on where you're at cost-wise and what you're expecting. So, yeah. And when we go to the load availability map, let's look at Phoenix, and this is a quick way to do it. Let's look at Arizona. Outbound, let's sort it by the highest rate. Might have to deadhead a little bit. Here's Phoenix to Massachusetts, 204 mile, $5,400. Picks up today. Phoenix to Saddlebrook, New Jersey, 202 a mile, $5,000. Here we go, 254 a mile going to Minnesota from Aguila, Arizona. I don't know how far that is from Phoenix. Load of produce. Okay, this is okay. Here's what I did. I messed up. This is all trailers. Let's go back to flatbed. I apologize. I'm doy. All right. Oh, look at that red. All right, now we're at the highest rate. That's that Phoenix to Sheboygan is your best paying load. So let's take a look at that. Credit rating not available. And it says construction company. Construction. So buyer beware on that. So there you go. There's your flatbed out of Phoenix. 150 a month here. I built my own driveway, so now I park truck and trailer at the house. There you go. Okay, I'll video. I don't know how to post it on YouTube. I can put it up on my Facebook page. It's easy. Just when you get on YouTube, just hit that plus button and then just upload it that way. Bakey B, also just waiting on my IRP plates, and I'm ready to roll as a new owner operator. Well, Bakey, if you live in Phoenix, you definitely have some challenges, but we can definitely help you out. I can help you strategize. Hopefully you got a good platform if you're going to run the spot. There's a few things that you can do. So Thomas says, Mr. Charles, I have been mainly running out of Exploration Drive and Decatur Boulevard. I'm leaving my truck at Kenworth for a 300-point inspection. Got to keep up my maintenance. By the way, I'm happy with the 123 low board. My favorite feature is the loads disappear in real time when they're no longer available. Thank you for the recommendation. You're welcome. What Willie is also becoming a new owner operator. 10-4 Thomas, yeah, I just put mine in the shop Wednesday for lists of things as well as inspections. There was another load last night for 1150 going from St. Louis to Topeka. Wow. I was too mentally exhausted to book it though. T-Bone, what's up? Good morning. Steve, if you booked that load for 2,800 and matched it with one just like it, wouldn't that be a pretty fair week for 5,600 for this market? Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. The flatbedders are used to making more, so just that's how you have to look at it. So, Knox outlet sensor acting up. It's time for suspension check, fuel line inspection, leaks, and so forth. There you go. Brakes, tires, shocks in October. So, but let's take a look at let's go back to and then if you want to look what's going into Arizona, here's your loads. See, you can get something from Carthage, Arkansas, and Nogales, Arizona for 3,700. So if you got 28 to go out, so here's what you can do, right? So let's all right, hold on. Rate check. That's what I'm looking for. Man, I'm half blind. Let's do Phoenix. Let's do Phoenix, Arizona to Atlanta, Georgia. I'm always talking about how much the Southeast does well in the flatbed world. So put that on flatbed, get rate. So you're looking at $1.96 on the average. But then if you switch it, hit this button here. It says $1.96. Wow, okay. So you get 36 out, 36 back. So now if you do that with reefer, it's going to change. Land of the Phoenix and reefer. Okay, something's not right here. Something's not working here. That's not right. I figure something's up with that. Okay, land of the Phoenix in flatbed. What's that rate? Okay, so something's off with this tool. It's not loading correctly. Yeah, the tool is off today. All right, so I guess we're going to go back to loan availability. How embarrassing. All right. Let's take a look at the reefer world, see what we got going on. And we won't go too much past 8 o'clock. I got work to do. How about Indianapolis to Nome, Alaska? Well, that's not going to show up here. Do you see Alaska on this map at all? No. If you want to go to Alaska, you're pretty much going to do that on a contract deal. Every now and then, once in a blue moon, you'll see Alaska on the DAP board. Once. So let's do that. Let's take a look at that. Just to entertain Mr. Thomas Wilson, since he gave me a Venmo. So let me get the DAT up here because he wants to go to Alaska. I would love to truck to Alaska in somebody else's truck. All right. I wouldn't do it in mine. I did a whole video on it. Look up Snorelord trucking to Alaska and you'll find that video. It's a great one. You can see my fat self, talking about something I know nothing about. All right, so let's see. So we'll share. So this is how you're going to find the Alaska freight, right? So we're at our load ratio. Here's van. There's literally one load. So let's click on that. It's not even. Used to be you can click on that. So, but that's coming out to Alaska. There's literally nothing coming in. So, and if I do that on the 123, it's going to just show not enough thing because I've never seen Alaska load in 6 years on the 123 load board. Any van loads out of Cleveland heading to Indy area today? Yeah, we can look. Let's bring the screen back up. So let's do van out of Cleveland. So gonna find loads. Let's do Cleveland. Cleveland O to Indianapolis, Indiana. 150 each direction for today. So we'll eliminate that. So we got it for today. Apply. And let's put this on van because you don't tarp, do you? All right, so hit apply. We van guys, we run the sissy wagons. That's what Adam calls it. So hit search. Quite a bit. Here's $900 to go from Dubois, Pennsylvania to Campbellsburg, Indiana. Dubois to Louisville. Nothing really going directly. Marion's about the closest you're getting. Elwood, Indiana, Columbus to Elwood. But they're only paying $450 for that. Let's see. Only Illinois, which there ain't nothing down there. Gas City, Indiana. Danville, Illinois is only 82 miles from Indy. Lebanon, Indiana. Here you go. Circleville, Ohio to Lebanon, Indiana. Let's take a look at that one. You're probably going to get about $700-800 on that. Paramount Transportation. Haven't dealt with them before. They are pre-approved by Thunder, and they are a TIA member. That's the other thing. Look for these TIA members. That helps a little bit. Now the credit's amazing. 99, 25 days to pay. They've got 18 days to pay with Thunder, so I would trust this load. And it's a holiday, so you might be able to leverage a little bit in a normal situation. I'm not sure. It was a joke, I know. But hey, I want to entertain you. Isn't that what we do? Isn't that what I'm for? Good old Idaho, steady she goes. I don't tarp. I'm too afraid to work that computer thing on a reaper. You're too stupid. Says CDN. If you see anything hot today, boss, let me know. There's one load I'm watching that picks up and delivers near the house. Don, it's all going to be hot. It's going to be 100 degrees today in Missouri. It's all going to be hot. Will Burner, what's up? Good talking to you the other night. Oh, and by the way, let me brag on myself here. I'm all about selling things because I don't want to be a truck driver anymore, right? So I gotta become a millionaire, and I need to do it through selling stuff. So let me get this up here. Show the picture. Now, something I want you guys to know is I want you guys to start going to my community page because it's awesome. I post really cool things on there. Look at that. We have hats now. We have hats. Now, I've yet to see one of these hats in person. I have ordered one for myself, and we'll see what it looks like. If it looks like crap, then I'll take this posting down. But if it comes out exactly like this, then that's a cool deal, man. That's a good deal. Now, you might be thinking, well, Steve, why the hell would I have some dumbass's name on my head that's not mine? Well, because it looks cool. That's why. So there you go. So I have hats now. It's on my I've hit some magic wand and I'm able to get hats now. I tried making hats earlier and they were like, nah, you suck. Now I can. So it's kind of interesting. Let's see. Steve, you want to hear my short game today? Short game? Sure. Great insight today. The market is opposite during peak of 2 years ago when rates were $4 to $5 a mile. The rate check tool was showing average way below what brokers were paying. Now rates below rate check. I agree with that. Did you also order the new model coffee mug? Says Shannon. Shannon is I'll write that check for you later, Shannon. But Shannon's been a huge promoter of the channel, and I appreciate her. She even did like a whole short and everything. My YouTube notifications are interesting. So, but let's go back to the 123 here. 48065 if you want to see the tools, and then we're gonna get off of here. So let's see, share screen. Some strategies for Friday. It's gonna be a little bit different. You know, what I was trying to do is I was trying to look, well, what can I do long to capitalize on the rate per day, and they weren't paying much on those either. So I thought that was kind of sucked. So all right, back to the hot market map. So let's take a look at Van. California is looking good again with Van. So let's take a look at that. Question is, can you fist the mug? You get nasty now here, Don. I do have this big mug, but I got to check Teespring to see if they sell the bigger mugs. If they do, I'll just do those. But the problem with these bigger mugs is I drink more coffee. Like I have 3 of those. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta make another pot, or I gotta make another pot. $700 per 160 miles. Unload 50-mile deadhead to next load. Back to Indy 650 plus fuel. Menards to Indy done by 3 p.m. Start at 4 a.m. There you go. So full day for what's that? 1350. That the advantage of that is are you so is that a drop and hooks scenario, or is that live unloads? I'd be curious about that. Sorry, I was going over these notifications. James G, what's up? Good seeing you here. And don't forget, reach out to me if you're looking for some dedicated freight for up there in Michigan. James G can help you out. So, man, I don't get out much. A lot unhoned people where I stopped. One smart guy, he has a safety vest and one of those garbage pickup tools. He looks like a city worker, blends in. Yeah, here's the thing. Some people have told me that I'd be shocked if I went out west and see the things that you see in California. Um, I recently learned through a friend of mine that Hawaii has the biggest amount of homeless per capita, not per capital, in the nation. And there's truly a different problem that nobody's addressing. Everybody's all worried about their junk and their orientation or their skin color. They're not focusing on the facts that our inner cities are decaying due to fentanyl and homelessness and the cost of living being too high to even own a home. You have doctors in California that are living in motorhomes. So that should tell you a few things, but we won't get into that. That's for the Snorelord OG channel. So Jackknife TV, better than what I'm doing lately, which is either a bunch of nothing or super messed uploads. Holland feed. I currently screen a driver for hire. There you go. Good deal. Good deal. Hope it works out. All right, guys. This is your van outbound. Oh yeah, we were going to look at California. sort it by highest rate, and we'll see what we'll just see what they're paying to come out. Boom, 6,100 to go to the Bronx. That would take a little bit more for me. Elizabeth, New Jersey for 56. Here you go. Carson, California to Tampa, Florida. 5450. 5450 for a couple of those. 5,400 to go to New York. Obviously, there's a shipper there in Carson. So there's your California rates coming out. Now, on the same token, let's go to inbound. Wow. Connecticut to Red Bluff, California, 45. Let's see, $1.50, $1.44, $1.62, $1.74, $1.31. Let's see if we can get down to $1 here. Now let's take a look at this $1.22. Let's say you live in New Jersey and I'm like, I gotta get to California because my baby mama needs me. Exhibit materials. They're at $1.22 a mile. Now, let's say you're making 80% of that. Can your business sustain off that long term? Now, you might do this one low, but can you do that like over and over and over? Do you know if you could? Do you have a plan if you have to? So that's what you have to ask yourself. Let's take a look at Texas. Kind of the same story here. There you go, 10 cents a mile. Let's look at this one. Again, probably Direct Connect likes to do this on purpose. They want their load to stand out. Obviously, that's a typo, or they just did that on purpose. So let's sort this by highest rate. Now look at the dynamics of Texas, right? Outbound, 235 a mile. Laredo to Quincy, Washington. That's always been a decent lane to go from Laredo to the Pacific Northwest. I've done it. Not too bad going to the Northeast for van. But look at inbound. California to Texas ain't too bad. So if you did California to Texas, Texas to Washington, and then take your hit from Washington to California and do that triangle, you make some pretty good coin. That's kind of how I would look at that. Here we go, $1.39 to go from Washington to Houston. So you definitely don't want to go directly back. You're going to take that hit small to California. So now let's look at intrastate. If you can get Texas intrastate, then you're doing pretty good, because look at this, $2,000 to go from Houston to Wolfforth, Texas. 591 miles, $2,000, 338 miles. So let's take a look at this one. Let's see what's going on here, because they're way above the average. My guess is that there's something added to this. There might be multiple stops. It might be a drop trailer. You never know. Drop trailers will do that too. I laugh whenever they post a rate for 20% below the average and they said it's a drop trailer for 48 hours. No, that's not going to work. $253 mile, $11.49 for 455 miles. A lot of $1,000 days here, a lot of $900 days that you can pull off intrastate in Texas. So that could be a good strategy. But you have to have Texas intrastate to do it. That was a good strategy up in for some Schneider guys when I was there. And Landstar for that matter. So all right. That's it for this morning. That's it for this week. I hope you guys have had a good week. It's been definitely been a very interesting week for me. A lot of stuff going on here at home. A lot of stuff going on with the low boards. A lot of stuff going on with the trucks that I'm dispatching. And it's been I was super slammed, and I'm happy to be there. I'm happy to be super slammed like this. A lot of it's a lot of people are struggling right now, and it's tough, right? But like anything else, we'll persevere. There's still pockets of money being made. Shannon's doing really great. She'll tell you herself. And she's a very honest person. So when she says she's doing all right, she's doing all right. We've got a few contractors that are doing pretty well here. So there's still money to be made. You just got to have an open mind, be willing to pivot, be willing to change, be willing to go beyond your comfort zone, and be willing to take the time to look for the patterns and to figure out what's best for you and your business. And sometimes we got to go from doing what we want to do to what we have to do. And that's the thing that's you got to learn to be a good business owner. You got to learn to be uncomfortable for a minute. That's the biggest skill you can get is learn to be uncomfortable. And we'll finish these comments and then we'll get out of here. Cool trucking. I grew up in a little town in Northern California. The state of my hometown is pitiful. We throw nonviolent criminals in prison and kill their prospects of future employment. No wonder we have a homeless problem. Live at Pepsi Unloaded, dropping hook Menards. There you go. Friday, Sterling, thank you for coming in. The whole left coast is terrible for homeless. It is. Can we look at Midwest to South, Southeast, or Midwest to Midwest for van? Sure. So basically, you can look at the rate check wasn't working, but I mean you can see that Missouri and Georgia are green. So let's take a look at Missouri. You got Sedalia to Lansing, Michigan. There's your Midwest run. That's a good paying load. Wow. Let's see, 258 a mile. Then if you click on Georgia, and you got like here Georgia, Rockford, Illinois, you're looking at 204 a mile on this one, $1,400 for about 700 miles. Picks up today, delivers Monday. So this would be a good one. And then out of Illinois, you should be able to get something Monday, depending on what time this delivers. It's paint. Shouldn't be hazmat if it's labeled correctly. Then here we go, Georgia to Saginaw, Michigan. So there's your triangle, Missouri to Michigan, Michigan to Georgia, Georgia back up to Michigan. And a lot of farm equipment that can go in vans is moving right now as well. I've noticed that. So take advantage of that. John Deere, Toro, a couple of the others, Kubota, they all have tractors that are moving right now. So, I didn't even have the screen up there. I'm sorry. I screwed up. Depends if the load is connected with the good rate going in. Wheel burners unite, form of Metalhead Viking Cayman trucker enthusiasts. Just picked up my title. Awesome. Congratulations. That's a good feeling, isn't it? He doing that thing again by not showing the screen. LOL. Yeah, I'm lame. So, anyways, that means I got to get off here. So, Everybody, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. 48065, if you're interested in the 123 low board, don't take my word for it. View it for yourself. If you like it, cool. If you don't, then tell me I'm a dumbass. I'm okay. My ego can handle that, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I might cry for a minute. But anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you're doing well this week. Hopefully you'll do well this weekend. If you are having fun with fireworks, please, please, please be safe. Don't be blowing up mailboxes. Don't be blowing up your fingers. Don't be pointing, stuff towards flammable stuff. If you're out playing with the pew pews, make sure you use safety. So, if you're out working, be safe because traffic's going to be insane. Gas and fuel prices are down, so that means more people will be traveling because they can afford it. So just know that this is probably going to be a well-traveled holiday, and it's going to be extended since it's all the way to Tuesday. So you have people that might take off today and don't have to go back to work till Wednesday. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Be smart, be safe, and what do I always say every time I end this feed? Strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Aggression turns to screws. See ya.